All right, welcome to the AC Sports Podcast.
Boom!
My name is Derek Ahlswede.
I'm Ross Field, back at it again.
We're headed into Week 15 NFL. Find us on Apple Podcasts now, Spotify, Amazon,
Evolving.
and YouTube.
Oh, yeah.
Look at this studio, man.
Next
what do you
level.
think?
You're
What do
coming
you
up.
think?
You're coming up in the game. I'm impressed.
All right, we have some bullet points we got to hear. We don't have all day. No commercial breaks. I want to first address point differential, okay?
Okay.
Not enough people talk about point differential, in
Yeah.
my opinion. That's how I've been ranking teams all year.
Ooh.
And it can be really enlightening because you get to see who's a little overrated. You know, their victories don't really match up. Chiefs, one loss, Point differential is, what is it? Oh, we got the fucking monitor on. Point differential is 4.31. Okay, 11th. Number 11 in the NFL. So what I want to do, Ross, is I want to break down the playoffs if we went by point differential only.
Okay.
Because I think it's the best indicator of who the right teams are in that upper echelon.
All right.
First of all, do you want to talk about the shitty teams? Anything you got to say about the bad teams? We have some teams that are out of it altogether. Giants, Raiders, Titans, Patriots, Panthers, Jags, Browns, Jets, all with 10 or 11 losses. Bears have 9. I'm putting them in the same boat. Anything you want to say about those before we get to the good team?
Oh, gosh. I mean, I don't know. Tough year for a lot of those teams up there in that portion of the list. Surprised the Jets are there. Boy, the Bears were playing well. Things turned quickly. I think some of the other teams, though, you know, we kind of expected this. You know?
We did. Raiders, Titans, Patriots, we expected. Giants might have been on the cusp a little bit.
Yeah.
We're still uncertain.
And then Daniel Jones goes down. That whole thing happens in terms of, you know, him sort of leaving the team. Yeah, rough year for New York.
The abrupt changes this year or something. Yeah, Daniel Jones is now off the team. They signed him to a $40 million contract, and he won a playoff game. Or he won a playoff game. Yeah, 2 years ago.
How about the Big Apple? Both Big Apple teams. The biggest market in the country. Ooh.
And they've always sucked. I mean, the Knicks have always sucked. The Mets are better now. Juan Soto, congrats.
Yeah, word. Huge. Well, and the Knicks are good.
Yankees, they never win anything. Yankees are the only New York team that wins. I guess the Giants do have a couple Super Bowls with Eli recently. But, yeah, for such a huge market, that is interesting that their teams are generally so bad. We have Rodgers sabotaging the Jets. That's a headline from this group. The Browns and Deshaun Watson with the nightmare contract. Don't really know what their future holds. Jags and Panthers are two expansion teams, if you're old enough to remember those two guys.
That's true.
Probably the most hopeful out of the group. The Patriots, I guess, with May. So any young quarterback.
Yeah.
Lawrence is still young enough. Bryce has come on.
And the Bears with Caleb. There's hope there.
Those are hopeful teams.
I like what Bryce has done the last few weeks. He's played a lot better.
Incredible.
So I bet they're feeling actually optimistic right now, despite the tough year.
Okay. Those are the shit teams. We'll say the teams hanging on to life support: Saints, Bengals, Cowboys. Those are our 8-loss teams.
Oh, dude, the Cowboys. Oh, my gosh. Man, I mean, you're about to go 6-7.
Punt.
You block a punt. You've got a guy you just called up from the practice squad who gets a little froggish and goes to try and recover that thing.
Good. They deserve it. They show their true colors. That's why bad teams are bad.
Yeah, man. Plays. Oh, it's like Micah's just walking off the field before the game's over. CeeDee's laughing in the post-game press conference when asked what went wrong. It's just like, man.
I love it so much. What a great year.
And poor Cincinnati, they've had so much bad luck. And the Saints, if only Derek Carr could be healthy, right? Yeah. They would be in the conversation of making the playoffs, it feels like.
Yeah, the Commanders are catching the Saints at a good time when we need a win. Eagles play the Steelers next week. We can gain a game, and then we play Philly after that.
Yeah.
Let's talk about this now quick. I know we said we were going to get into the point differential playoffs, and we will. Yeah. The AFC playoff picture has been pretty locked in since like week 5 or 6, honestly.
Yeah.
That's when I set my picks after week 6. All 7 of those teams I set back then. Nothing's changed since then. The NFC's been a little more in flux. And I think it is more so than we realize. Let's look at each division real quick. Lions locked to win the North, right?
Totally.
The Vikings are one game behind them.
Yeah.
Lions are a little banged up. The Vikings could easily win the North, and
Amazing.
no one's thinking that in their heads.
Yeah, they just keep winning. They played so good this past week too. Darnold went off.
Yeah, he climbed the QB rankings. In the East, I just mentioned, Eagles walking away with one of the best teams in the league. They have a very tough game this week. They're probably going to lose, in my opinion, to the Steelers, even though they're favored. And then we have an easy game. Like I said, we play them again in 2 weeks. Commanders could easily be in first place in 2 weeks in the East. In the West, we know it's been perennially mid. Did I say that right? One of the most mid divisions of all time by the numbers. I still am taking a flyer on the Niners to win out and take that thing. But any team could take it in the West. And then, what's the last team? In the South, the Falcons are still in it. I've been riding the Bucs all year, though. My point is, in the NFC, a lot of fluctuation still.
Yeah. Cardinals tough last few weeks. Seahawks have seemed to emerge in the NFC. Can't sleep on the Rams after a huge win and a thrilling game against the Bills. And for the Niners, I mean, it's pretty frustrating because they sort of showed what they're capable of this past week. I mean, they played really well against Chicago, but what needed to happen for them to gain a little ground, it didn't happen. They needed Buffalo to beat the Rams, and they needed the Cardinals to beat the Seahawks. And those two things didn't happen. So even when things go right for the Niners on the field, off the field, they don't.
Man, that Seahawks win against the Jets last week, and then the Rams beating the Bills.
Cardinals.
Heartbreakers. No, I'm saying last week when the Seahawks should have lost to the Jets.
Got you. I'm here with you.
Yeah, I mean, that said, Brock Purdy, I have him tied for 8th in the NFL quarterbacks this year. They still have Purdy. And there's all this talk about him not being maybe signed for a high dollar. Forget that.
You're going
Purdy's
all in on
man.
that? It's tough because of where they are financially with other pieces of their roster. And so I think it's hard for them to commit to a long-term extension at this time. Maybe they'll be in a better position next year. So maybe there's a holdout coming.
They're not in a better position next year. It gets worse.
It gets worse. Ugh.
Yeah. This is kind of it.
Well, yeah, we'll see. I mean, Debo may walk. There could be some other situations. They could restructure some contracts. So, they just did that with Hargrave, their defensive tackle. So potentially they could put themselves in a better position financially to lock him up with other pieces of the roster. But, yeah, I mean, they're in a tough spot. And if he plays like he did Sunday for the next couple weeks, they're probably going to want to lock him up. And I actually heard rumors that they may be about to do that.
Yeah, it makes that Ayuk signing just look worse and worse, considering their cap situation. I wasn't fully aware of that until this week. I think the Niners are in the perfect spot. No one believes in them. We know that teams love professional teams with a history of being in the Super Bowl, love and nobody believes us. And you mentioned that about the Chiefs last week. Even though their record doesn't show it, people are, they're not winning big. Niners are in a much more serious nobody believes in us situation. They still have the coach. They still have the Super Bowl pedigree. I'm going big on the Niners. On the Niners taking this thing down the stretch. They probably have to win out. I mean, the Seahawks have to lose at least a couple, and the Niners would have to win out. And they have some tough games, to be fair.
They do. It's going to be hard, but thank you for the vote of confidence.
And my point is that the NFC, these NFC division winners are not set at all. The wild card is actually there's still 7 teams I'd say are set, but not the division. So it's going to be fun down the stretch. This is great. What do we got? 5 games left?
You're so right. I mean, it's going to be some good theater, and there could be some wild things that emerge. I mean, you could see Minnesota winning that division over Detroit. You could even see Green Bay kind of come out of nowhere and take that thing. I want to see something wild.
Well, Green Bay's down 3 in the loss column to Detroit, so that's not going to happen. We got 4 games.
It'd be tough, but, I mean, you've seen crazier things happen in the NFL down the stretch. And, to your point about the NFC being muddled or kind of being unpredictable or sort of you've got so many different teams fighting for contention and still in it compared to the AFC, there could be some wild stuff that happens.
4 games. What was I going to say?
Tampa. Getting by Atlanta.
Tampa I love. Atlanta is now 24th in the power ranking. Plummeted another 3 spots. That team is falling off a cliff.
Dude, Kirk, what's going on, bro?
Damn, what do I want to say about the NFC? Okay, well, anyways, we'll leave it at that. Outside looking into the NFC, Oh, okay. Let's get to the point differential playoffs. Okay. NFC Lions are the 1 seed, as we know. Our first round game would be the 7 seed Seahawks at the 2 seed Eagles, the 6 seed Buccaneers at the 3 seed Vikings, and the 5 seed Packers at the 4 seed Commanders.
Ooh, I like that 4-5 matchup.
Woo! And that's why I liked doing this is you look at these matchups and you go, oh yeah, this feels much more right. We have the Niners as the 8 seed, first team kind of outside looking in, which again points to them being a team that's still in this. It's not a bad team. Saints and Cardinals 9 and 10. That Packers Commanders, I mean, I'm just looking at these 6 teams outside of the Lions, and I can't wait for all these guys to start battling each other in the playoffs.
Yeah, I love it. You know, it's funny that we're doing the point differential because real quick, I saw a graphic on ESPN about yard differential in the league, and the Niners are number 2. So you got like the most elite teams. I think the Eagles are 1, the Ravens are like 3. You know, teams that have a lot of offensive yards and are holding teams to few yards on defense. The second best yard differential in the league is the 49ers this year. So how about that?
That points to how frustrating of a year.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Because that's what we see with our eyes. That sometimes we aren't always able to explain properly. Like this feels like this team's better. I love me some differentials. Great yard differential.
Hey, do you like the matchup against Green Bay if this were to happen? I mean, for Washington, I'm scared.
That's a good one. I'm scared of all these teams.
Yeah, fair.
Just because after that Eagles game, it felt like, okay, we're new. We're the new kids on the playoff block.
Yeah.
It does kind of feel like as long as we're there. That said, I was looking at Super Bowl odds. I think we're 6,600 plus 6,600. So you bet 100 to win 6,600. Pretty incredible odds. I mean, is there better than a 66 to 1 chance that the Commanders could win this whole thing? Yeah. I mean, we've seen them catch fire. We've seen all these teams catch fire. That's why this NFC playoff is going to be so great.
Yeah, agree.
With the exception of that 4 seed, but that's every season. So the 4 seed this year is probably going to be a West team. It could be a South team, whether it's the Bucks at the 4 or whoever wins the West at the 4. I bring that up because, and then I also wanted to point out this point differential playoff situation because I can't stand. I wish we did this in real life, even with record. I can't stand the 4 seed every year being this like mediocre division winner.
Yeah.
Getting to host a playoff game against the best wild card, which is always like a 3-4 loss team that was just in a division with another incredible team. What do you think about that? Do you think that's proper?
You bring up a great point. I mean, it's a fascinating argument. I think I understand it. I get both sides of it. You know, I mean, it's important to win your division. It's important to play well against teams in your division. And there's something to be said for emerging from that division and winning. Basically, what you win is a first-round home playoff game. You know,
my thing is like, you win a banner. You get to hang that banner.
You do.
You won the NFC South. Good for you. Doesn't have anything to do with where you are in the playoffs.
Yeah.
If you are like the Texans in the AFC, they are the AFC South champions most likely. They're the 7 seed. That's where they should be. That's what point differential. I'm talking about NFL would use records, but
right.
Still that can happen.
Yeah.
And I just, the Chargers a 4 seed. They would, I guess they'd be a 5. But anyway, the point is that they're going on the road, this great wild card team. Yeah. I wish we could scrap it all together. Just give them a banner, but let's do the seeding the proper way.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that. Okay. I mean, I understand the other side of it too. You know, I mean, you're in a tough division like the Packers and the Lions and the Eagles all there in the NFL, or not the Eagles, excuse me.
Packers, Lions,
Vikings are, I mean, they're all in that tough division right there, and one of those teams is gonna. I mean, can you imagine like if both the Lions and Vikings were essentially to have 1, 2, or 3 losses, and they're like basically the second best team in the NFC record-wise, but they've got one of them's going to have to go on the road.
It happens every year.
It happens every year, so it's frustrating from that element and that perspective. So if you did seeding based on record throughout the division, kind of scrapped or throughout the conference and scrapped the division winners, I wouldn't have a problem with that.
Feels better. Feels right. Yeah. I mean, we could very much have a situation where the Vikings and Lions both have 2 losses this year. two 15-2 teams in the same division.
Yeah, and one's going on the road.
Yeah. I mean, what if the Lions are a 5 seed? Our minds
crazy.
will be like, what?
Yeah.
What's happening? The Lions are starting the wild card on the road?
Yeah.
Anyways, rant. All right.
It's
AFC,
a good rant. It's a good
Thank you.
good thoughts.
AFC point differential seedings, we have the Bills at 1, despite their 2-point loss to the Rams. Incredible game last week. Like I said, the 7-seed Texans would be at the 2-seed Steelers. The 6-seed Chiefs, okay? Talk about a jump. At the 3-seed Broncos. The Broncos now have the best point differential in the AFC West, ahead of the Chargers and Chiefs. Then we'd have the 5-seed Ravens at the 4-seed Chargers. Beautiful matchups all the way
Beautiful
around.
matchups. Yeah. These aren't taking into consideration the division winners, though, right?
No, it's just strictly
Gotcha.
point
Just-
differential.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, man, beautiful matchups.
Right?
Chiefs-Broncos face off for a third time.
We're making a better product here when we do it this way.
I like it. You're right. We are. At
And-
least this year.
Last thing I'll say about point differential, and I don't know if I brought this up before with you, but I believe in some professional soccer leagues it comes into play. At least it doesn't I guess the World Cup groups or whatever it matters.
Yeah.
What if it just mattered? So there's no foot off the gas, no matter what.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, games would be so much more exciting.
Yeah.
Like offenses would just be like going through the throat all game. Doesn't matter if we're up 52-3.
And that's what college football's been traditionally, right? Because you got to keep that high rank, so you got to keep foot on the gas.
Early in seasons, teams
wrong
just
with that?
dominate the smaller programs.
Other teams getting pissed off because they're already blown out, and you're still throwing 40.
It would take that away.
That drama. No, they'd still get pissed. Oh,
Yeah.
I guess it would kind of take it away.
It would. Because there would be an understanding.
But they'd still get pissed.
Yeah, sure.
I'd say it'd increase it because now it's happening all the time.
Yeah, maybe.
So it's just human nature to be like, fuck, these guys are beating us by 40, throwing 40 yards. I mean, we're just trying to improve the game over here.
That's some good thought process, though. I mean, what is it in soccer? Aggregate? It's kind of, is that what that terminology is? There's you want to score as many goals.
I think it's if you're in group play, like the World Cup.
Yeah, but there's also regular season play where you'll play a 2-game stretch against an opponent, one at home, one on the road, and if you were to tie or something, I don't know. There's something like that, whoever scores the most goals at the end of the day between the matchup advances.
Well, there are always tiebreakers.
Yeah.
And I don't even know if point differential comes into the NFL tiebreakers. I don't think it does. All right. There are PD playoffs. Not PED. PD. Let's get into a little quarterback breakdown. We're just going to do this every week.
Love it.
We talked about doing a different position each week. Until the quarterback isn't just the MVP every year and the most important thing in the league, we're going to talk about the quarterback rankings every week. Bottom of the barrel, we talked last week about Anthony Richardson, Bryce Young, Will Levis, and Caleb Williams, the young guys. The stats are not there yet, even though we've seen flashes. Even though Bryce has really turned it on the past couple weeks, he's still at the bottom of the pack. We talked about Aaron Rodgers being the kind of worst of of the pack outside of that group of 4. Next to Rodgers, C.J. Stroud, a surprise. We got Lawrence now, who's not in the picture anymore. Those 3 seeming like all-pro quarterbacks down at the bottom of the list, which is interesting.
Yeah.
Then we got Bo Nix and Drake May, the exact same rank, tied for 21. Interesting. The 2 young guys.
I'm surprised Bo's that low.
Yeah. Everyone out there thinks he's a freaking rookie of the year. Then we got Geno and Kirk tied at 19. Makes sense somehow. Similar guys.
Yeah, they
throw for a
are.
lot of yards. You don't really trust them to win.
And Jameis.
And Jameis, yeah. Let's put Jameis
Put him in that group.
Okay, yeah. Jameis, Kirk, and Geno. Okay, they're right there. Then we got Baker, Herbert, Mahomes. 17, 16, 15. These are all-stars. I mean, I'm throwing Baker in there now because I love the guy, but
He's a fighter.
as middle-of-the-pack guys, a surprise.
Yeah. Statistically, it's tough. I mean, at times. Mahomes made some of the most amazing plays I feel like I've seen in my life to help them win that game Monday night. So
I haven't looked into his breakdown as to why his ratings are so middle of the pack.
Yeah.
What it is he's not doing. I think is his touchdown. He's not throwing a lot of touchdowns.
No, yeah. And he's not throwing for a ton of yards. At least not what we've grown accustomed to seeing from him in recent years. But he's kind of assumed the role of game manager.
Well, then let's just admit that now and stop putting him on this MVP pedestal. He's a game manager.
Yeah,
he's Joe Flacco now.
No, I wouldn't go that far, but I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
I think just ultimately stats are fun, but winning football games matters most. So when you do a list like this, it may indicate statistically where a QB is, but it doesn't really tell the story of their value.
Well, to me, it tells the story of why the team's winning.
Yeah.
Chiefs are winning because of their defense.
Yeah, you can make that argument. Yeah, sure.
Are they running the ball well? They've been banged up.
They're winning because of whatever kind of karma.
That too. Defense, luck.
And Andy Reid. And
luck,
Spagnuolo.
Defense, coaching.
Yeah.
Luck, defense, culture, whatever you want to call it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Taylor Swift, put her in there.
Well, when Mahomes even kind of addressed it a couple weeks ago in a post-game presser, he kind of said, like, our offense is not playing that great. Like, we want to be blowing teams out. So I think even they know. But still, man.
They do.
Gosh, he just makes some clutch plays at some right times that just remind you of just how incredible he is. And they have one loss. That's amazing. Okay, keep going.
Mahomes at 15. Russell Wilson was a top 10 guy last week. He dropped 4 spots. What I like about doing this list weekly is that you do see some pretty drastic fluctuations sometimes. And again, this is just strictly based off of QBR plus passer rating, where they stand at in those two metrics. So Wilson dropped 4 spots. QBR took a hit. Derek Carr dropped 9 spots.
Yeah, tough. And adding insult to injury.
Yeah. He was shockingly high at 4. So much more appropriate spot.
Thank
here.
you.
We, like you said, we named an award after him. The Put Some Respect on My Name award, Derek Carr award, and then he drops 9 spots in the ranking and is
We jinxed him. Sorry, Derek.
This pod has provided some jinxes so far. Oh, wait. No, we sparked A-Rod for 1 week.
Oh, we did.
And then ruined Carr's.
We got to get our energy out in a better way.
After maybe McCaffrey's the end of the Madden jinx, and now it's the AC Sports podcast.
The Madden jinx is rolling along strong.
Stafford at 12, bumped up a couple.
What a game. Man. Go ahead.
I was going to say, can you count? Have we talked about how many quarterbacks there are in the NFL who have won a Super Bowl? Right
yeah, there was 5 you had mentioned.
Okay,
and it threw me. I couldn't name them.
A couple were backups.
Yeah, but Russell and Flacco and Mahomes were the ones, and Stafford.
It's really just Stafford, Mahomes are the ones that are still playing. Then we have Flacco, Rodgers, and Russ. Oh, so
Rodgers.
We'll put Russ in there.
Yeah, Russ.
So Russ, Mahomes, Stafford. Let's not forget that. Those are the only 3 guys
it's amazing.
Who've won a Super Bowl.
Amazing.
So down this last 4-week stretch, are the Rams the favorite to win the West?
Yeah, you make a good point. I mean, there's something to be said to having climbed the mountain. You know what to expect a little bit more.
They still have Sean McVay, one of the best young, awesome coaches in the league. They have now 2 Pro Bowl receivers that are now just healthy. They have Kyron Williams, who's like a top 5 back, arguably.
Their defense is going to be what determines whether or not.
I mean, I said earlier the Niners are going to win the West. That's only because I picked them in my Week 6 picks. So I'm already losing out on the Bears on my Week 6 futures. I don't want to lose out on the Niners as well, but I think I'm going to. I think that the Rams are the smart money for the West.
I can't disagree with that after what you saw them do this past weekend. And by the way, all those other picks you had on Week 6 are like amazingly dialed in. I mean, you deserve some credit for that, man. It's spot on.
I mean, the Bears. I had the Bears over the Eagles, so that was my time.
I think I was high on the Eagles back in Week 6, but that might have been the only team that I got right. Mm-hmm. Anyways, yeah, you said one thing that I want to focus on a little bit more. Kupp and Nakua on the field at the same time, healthy. Scary.
With the Super Bowl winning coach and quarterback?
Yeah, you saw that. It was like, oh, man, they can't guard him. And Buffalo's not a slouch defensively, but they couldn't guard him.
They're the second best team in the NFL.
Yeah.
And they were smashing them.
Yeah. up and down the field, and they were just taking kind of turns. And Nakua is unreal. Guy's a physical specimen.
He's a cool. I'm going to mention him in a little bit under Media Darlings next.
Okay.
I mean, huge game tomorrow after everything we're talking about now.
I know.
Rams, Niners. You probably don't feel great after everything we just mentioned.
No.
That said, it's the NFC West. Anything can happen.
Anything can happen.
I cannot wait to see
the
that.
Niners have potential, no doubt. You saw that this past weekend. Matthew Stafford is my put some respect on his name pick.
Oh, you're stepping on that segment now?
No, I'm not. I just want to, just throw it out there, maybe tease it. Maybe I blew the tease. I blew it.
We have new segments. It's okay. Stafford at 12, Kyler Murray, and Tua. They were tied for 5th last week. They dropped to 10 and 11.
Dude, Tua is amazing.
Tua did pull that win out against the Jets, but it was a nail biter. Another Jets loss like that. Kyler probably had, and the Cardinals honestly had one of the worst weeks, all things considered.
Yeah, no doubt. They're fading.
Niners 38-13 last week. Good for them. Where are my Cardinals? Where's my Cardinal score? Where we at?
They got beat by Seattle.
Okay. Oh, 30-18. Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty ugly for them.
Cardinals are not for real. They will not win the West. Put that in ink. Cardinals sit at 18th in the power ranking. They dropped 4 spots. One of the biggest drops this week. The biggest drop. So the Cardinals were the stinker of the week. They had the worst week this week for their quarterback and team all around. Kyler Murray's still a Pro Bowler. We still love you, Kyler. He's just inconsistency is the name of the game with the Cardinals and the Rams, although we got to see now that they're fully healthy.
Yeah, true.
Cardinals are probably the most inconsistent team in the NFL because we know that they have the potential to be there. I'm trying to look at another inconsistent team. Maybe the Texans the Bengals don't qualify since they're losing. Yeah, Cardinals are the team every week where I'm like, I have no idea what you're going to do. You could get blown out. You could blow somebody out. They're the team I'm never betting on.
They are clearly the most inconsistent team. When you look at this list and you think about that, I agree that Texans too are a little. It's like, what are you going to do today, CJ? Like, you've shown flashes of potential. Now you got Nico back in the fold.
Oh, is he back?
I think he's been back for a couple weeks, and his
has?
numbers still haven't. CJ's. So yeah.
I want to say the Texans have almost been kind of consistently mediocre all year.
Yeah, true, but I feel like they should be better. So. But you're right. You know a little bit more about what to expect from them than you do Arizona. Some weeks plays amazing, and then
Well, you know who the other inconsistent team is mine, the Commanders.
Yeah,
that's a team where
a little bit
it could go both ways.
The Colts are a little inconsistent.
Yeah,
they've had some. They were in contention there for a little while. Flacco was doing his thing. Then they went back to Anthony, and they've been in some really tight games late. And they're a little inconsistent.
Only 7 losses, the Colts.
Yeah,
the 7-loss teams are still well in this thing.
Why do I feel like the Chargers are a little inconsistent? Maybe the Dobbins injury kind of has.
You're incorrect, sir.
Has the Dobbins injuries kind of totally?
Did you just call Jim Harbaugh inconsistent?
I think their performance is, but I think it's because I think they're trying to adjust to how to go about their business offensively without the dynamic presence of Dobbins, who's a running back that does so much for them, and he's the only one that can do that with his skill set. The other backs in that backfield don't really have what Dobbins can do, and I think the Chargers are having trouble adjusting to that.
And that's why I was saying my hope for the Chargers to win out and take the West, and for the Chiefs to start losing, starting with that game last week, it was dependent on Dobbins being there. That's the only reason the Chargers lost, I think, is because Dobbins wasn't there.
Dude, yeah.
They would have beat him with Dobbins.
Yeah, I feel like it was wild that they were where they were. It was like, how are the Chiefs not crushing this team? You know what I'm saying?
Because their
defense
defense
surprising.
is amazing.
Yeah, they
Derwin?
Yeah, Derwin played amazing. Derwin and Kelsey matchup, them chirping all those clips that have emerged. Some good stuff. And they get after the quarterback. Mahomes was under pressure. He was, having to make decisions quickly. You make a good point. The Chargers D is nasty.
Yeah. Lattimore is going to play his first game against his old team, the New Orleans Saints, for us, the Commanders. A
big
cornerback,
boost.
huge signing that we desperately needed. So that's very exciting. I just found out that we lost our number 2 receiver, though, today. Noah Brown.
Brown's out. Would you put him number 2? Yeah, or is it?
Yeah, our receivers are pretty thin.
Yeah.
Our boy McCaffrey is going to have to be a true number 3 now, the rookie.
Luke,
the only McCaffrey alive. You got to be rooting for me a little bit with him.
For sure, dude. I would love to see Washington make a run. That'd be cool. I'm here for the Jaden Love.
You mentioned Sam Darnold. Who did the Vikings?
Oh my gosh, dude!
Who'd they beat?
They just smashed, and he threw 5 touchdown passes.
42-21 against the Falcons.
I played him in fantasy this week. Sucked.
Not quite as good as Allen, but yeah.
I had Allen in another league. Incredible.
Darnold, great week for the Vikings. Vikings have locked in that number 4 team in the NFL, according to moi.
Yeah.
Lions, Bills, Eagles, Vikings, lock it in. The next pack, Steelers, Commanders, Packers, Broncos, Chargers, Ravens, Chiefs, Bucks. All group them together. I don't feel as comfortable about those teams. I think the Vikings have set themselves apart into that upper echelon.
They're convincing me a little bit.
Good.
I haven't been high on them, but man, they're playing good.
Anything else worth mentioning here? We got Purdy up a spot, tied for 8th with Darnold. Jordan Love up from tied for 12th to tied for 6th with
big
Jalen
leap.
Hurts.
He's playing better, man. He's just, he's impressing me right now. He's very calm, cool, and collected. I like what Love's doing.
Love and Hurts. Who would you rather have?
Hurts.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
There's just something about Jalen that I like, even with his squabbles with number 11. I like Jalen.
They pulled out a win against the Panthers. So close, so close. It felt so right. Like these late season games where the team that's been bad, that's kind of picking it up a little bit, takes advantage of the team that's supposed to crush them at home.
Yeah. Did you see the bettor?
We needed that. Yeah.
Who put like the largest bet on a single game, like 3.1 million?
They mentioned it on the Fox broadcast.
Okay, yeah, that was. Could you imagine if you had done that and you're watching that game? There was a pass too that like Bryce had. I think it was to Leggett over like a crosser deep, and man, Leggett dropped the passer. He just barely overthrew him, and if he catches it, it's 23-22 Carolina with like a minute 40 to go.
Yeah.
And you're going, oh, dude, if you're the bettor. That guy must have lost years of his life.
It's just funny how why are we announcing bets on a broadcast? That's strange.
Interesting. I didn't think about it from that way.
Weird that it's even public information. But regarding Bryce,
okay,
he's too short. He can't see over the line. What happened all of a sudden? Suddenly he's just running around, making great throws in open field.
Yeah.
He's not too short all of a sudden. So I think that shows that all that talk about like he's not kind of built for the NFL, that's what has died the past few weeks, regardless of, whether they're winning or not and his numbers. And that's kind of huge.
Yeah.
Because some of us were just like, remember when it was the worst trade in the world that they traded that pick to now the Bears getting Caleb? Does that look so horrible all of a sudden? 3 weeks later?
Yeah.
We're like, I'd rather have Bryce than Caleb now, even though Bryce was out of the league 3 weeks ago.
You might. That's interesting that you bring that up. I mean, Russell Wilson's probably similar height. Kyler's similar height. Brock Purdy's similar height. There are smaller quarterbacks who have had success in the league, no doubt. But, yeah, it's funny how we go so fast to, pinpoint that as the reason why a quarterback is struggling. Oh, he's just not tall enough. He can't see over the line.
Or just the narrative on quarterbacks and coaches too. We're just this like bloodthirsty public ready to chop people's heads off.
Yeah.
The slightest chance we get. The lesson is be more patient as a fan, especially if you're going to be a podcaster, analyst, whatever you want, a pundit, amateur or professional. just talking with your buddies, whatever, on Sundays around with some beers. Calm down a little bit, always, and realize what isn't true anymore that most people have been saying is true.
Yeah, we have too much information at our disposal.
Right, but it's the ability to correctly analyze and put that info together.
You're right, but it's so easy to in a week-to-week league, and with all this information, now it's so easy to get caught up in just like, oh, this guy isn't the answer, or that coach isn't the answer. Fire him or bench him, and
And what's my point? I guess tell your friends to shut up with their stupid opinions on Sundays. Shut up.
Yeah, people are like, do you think the Niners are going to get rid of Kyle Shanahan? They've had a tough year. You're kind of like...
Although you did drop a little Shanahan should be fired clip last week.
Did I go fully Shanahan should be fired?
If we clipped it out, those words were said in succession. You said like, well, if we use the metrics that these guys got fired, then Shanahan would be fired. I should have just clipped that out. Yeah.
Feel free to not clip that out and put it out there in full context, please.
So Love is tied with Hurts for 6. Then we get into our top 5.
Okay,
ladies and gentlemen,
Jaden,
the 5th best quarterback in the National Football League.
Too high.
And let's remember this for the playoffs. Okay, we go Commanders 7 seed. Nobody's thinking about them. Jaden Daniels, 5th best quarterback in the NFL, 4th in QBR, 11th in passer rating. That number 4 QBR is looking sweet. Right behind Allen, Burrow, and Jackson. Goff, biggest jump of the week. He went from number 9 to number 4. Jared Goff. I'm going to bring him up in a second.
Okay.
And then we got our top 3, Allen, Burrow, and Jackson, who are not going anywhere. There, ladies and gentlemen, are the worst to best quarterbacks in the NFL at the moment. Any final comments on QBs, Ross?
No, I like the top 5. I think that's good.
Oh, do you? You like the 5, not the 4? You like the 5?
I like the 5.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Jaden deserves to be there. He's played well the last week. Goff, man, wow. Okay, Josh Allen, like, can we get him from 3 to 1 though? I mean, what did he do this past week? Does this take into consideration rushing yards and rushing touchdowns?
I think only QBR does. That's why he's number 1.
Okay.
And that's why Lamar was 1 there. But Burrow being 2 in QBR.
Yeah.
I should probably learn the specifics of these rankings.
No, I'll get on that next week. You're all good. I mean,
Allen's 8th in passer rating.
Yeah.
Maybe his completion percentage isn't quite all the way there.
And he uncorks some throws.
Yeah, he's thrown some picks in the past.
Yeah, he throws some bombs. So he's just like, here's a punt. Burrow, like, man, all these other teams are in contention, and then there's Burrow.
And he had to get incredibly lucky to beat the Cowboys to get to 5 wins this week.
But he got the Batmobile, so he wins.
He hasn't closed the deal yet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, and he showed up in like a Tron outfit too. Burrow swaggy, dude. He's got some drip.
The guy is building his value as good as any NFL player this year.
He's funny
on the field and off the field.
Yeah,
I think if
he's marketable.
Right. If there's a player I'm buying stock in.
Okay.
Just as a human being, total package as a brand. Ooh, actually, I love this question.
That's kind of an interesting thought. We should do a segment on that.
We're doing it right now.
Okay.
Honestly, my 2 guys.
Okay.
The brand. Oof, this is tough. Mahomes is like 32nd.
I knew you were going to go there. I think he's a lot higher.
But here's the thing. Jameis Winston's in my top 5 brand. Give me everything. Give me the content.
Yeah.
By the way, are you watching Hard Knocks?
Yeah, it's so good. Dude, I love how just candid Jameis is. Like, he doesn't hold back anything in his thoughts. It's endearing when he's speaking publicly. It's like, yes, dude, give me what's going on in your mind because it's kind of funny and your perspective's valuable.
I want Bryce in my top brand.
Yeah, he's swaggy on the old
TikTok.
TikTok.
I want Rodgers there just because to be the most hated is still getting me those eyeballs and clicks.
Yeah, what about the Gen Z, Gen X vibe around Caleb, right? Like the young kind of appeal. I mean, the guy's painting his fingernails and okay.
He's not quite my top 5.
Okay.
I got Bryce, Rodgers, Jameis, my man Jaden Daniels, and then Joe Burrow. Those are my top 5 brand guys. Give those to me. I'm making billions.
Okay. Yeah, that's interesting.
Who are your brand guys? You don't have to give 5.
Why Jaden? What does he do that?
Because he has such star power on the field. Like, we're just seeing the beginning of it.
Okay.
And we saw it out of the gate.
Super talented.
We saw it out of the gate. It was insane out of the gate.
Yeah. He's going to do some things.
So he's just going to be like the most like kind of awe-inspiring player on the field.
Yeah.
I think out of everybody. And I can't believe I'm saying that about the quarterback on my team. I swear I mean that objectively. I'd say it.
I think it's a valid point right now.
Burrow is just the legend, the king.
Yeah. But what does Jaden do marketability wise? Is he like
he's young. So he's the Bryce Young that's just elite.
Yeah.
And so there's a real you talked about Gen Z, even Gen A, like he's their guy.
Yeah. I feel like he's kind of like I don't mean this disrespectfully, but he's got kind of like a nerdy sort of bookworm, kind of got the glasses, kind of that cool little.
They love that.
No, right. Yeah. They do. That's kind of the vibe I get from him when he's kind of
1,000,000%
on the social media front, which is cool. That's cool.
You're describing why I'm so in love with him. He wore a Doug Williams jersey to week 1, right?
That's
just
smart.
to show like how smart am I?
Yeah, that's
first black quarterback for this Washington team that won a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Who's going to be the next?
Yeah.
Me, motherfucker.
Yeah.
That's what he was saying.
He's kind of unassuming, though. Like, I don't know. He's not very conceited. He's not very.
We love that.
Yeah. He's kind of like different from Burrow in a way. Burrow's sort of. Maybe Jaden will morph into that.
But Burrow's earned it.
Yeah, exactly.
So Burrow had that kind of modesty when he entered the league.
He did. He was modest. Great word.
And where a guy like Caleb Williams, I think he's a sweet, good person.
Yeah.
But no, he's flashy.
Yeah.
He's not as modest.
Yeah. He's not.
So the young people love that's why they love Bryce so much. Modest, smart, young guy. And Jaden's just like that. Yeah. Just to the higher level. He did that little TikTok dance at the Sixers. Wow, I can't remember the Sixers basketball player name, even though he's so famous.
Embiid?
No, the young guy that does the TikTok dances.
Oh, Jared McCain.
Yeah. Jared McCain is his name? Okay, McCain. He did the McCain dance in the end zone that Jaden Daniels did. So it's
smart.
Like he's on that level.
Yeah.
He's not quite as flashy as McCain,
but he's doing calculated
similar,
stuff like that.
Yeah.
With the Williams jersey and the nod to the crosstown b-ball player.
Oh, that's right. Oh, well, yeah, same ownership actually.
Okay.
Marketable guys. Who are your guys? We didn't mention Jackson and Allen.
Jackson, I was thinking
they're not really. They've never been like super marketable.
Yeah, it's tough. I guess it kind of depends on your vibe and what you're going for. Like I think, like there's some value to Purdy for kind of the Midwest All-American type, very, very extra humble.
Trump voters, you mean?
No, I wouldn't necessarily go that far. If you want to go there, though, Mahomes has probably got a lot of value in that arena right now.
100%.
And obviously, with all his success, it's hard to not put him on a list like this. He is the face of the league.
Mahomes is the Drake of the NFL.
I like it. Who would be the Kendrick?
Well, and it's funny. I actually thought about this analogy last year. Lamar, because like he's better, more skilled, right?
Okay. Oh yeah.
And then he's been kind of independent. He had the independent thing with his agent, so kind of like outside of the fray of like the normal structure, right?
Yeah, this is good, dude. This is good stuff right here.
That said, see, I know you don't got a lot of time on. We'll go with Lamar for the Kendrick. It's perfect.
It's perfect. It is. It really is. I'll throw one guy in there just because he's funny and he's been through a lot and he's also just doesn't care and he says whatever he wants and he's won a Heisman and he's a badass and that's Baker.
Baker? Yeah, okay.
I'll put him in there.
Love Baker.
Yeah. I like Baker. He kind of just has like I don't give an F type attitude when he deals with the media and he says what he wants and it's just like it's kind of funny. Like he's not rude in any way, shape, or form.
Great.
He's just kind of funny.
I am booting A-Rod out of my top 5 for brand guys, and I'm putting Baker in there.
Okay.
A-Rod is, I don't know how many people are going to watch that Netflix show.
I wonder where Bo Nix will be in a couple years.
On the couch with his boring girlfriend. Nobody cares about Bo Nix, dude.
I don't know, man. I saw
your
a post.
girlfriend make TikToks of you watching football on the couch. Fucking boring ass Bronco.
Oh man, I sent some hatred coming.
Oh, this is gonna be this way for 10 years.
I don't know. I think he's got a chance to really emerge as somebody who could put himself in position to, be marketable for the league, especially if he continues to have success
With Republicans, for sure.
Oh, that's fun. This is good. We got to do running backs next week.
We got to marinate in QBs for a while.
Okay.
Okay, let's move on. Media darlings. I think we kind of went over who our TikTok guys are. We have the Hard Knocks situation. All I'll say about this is I think Hard Knocks is one of the greatest documentaries ever made because of how quick their turnaround time is and how high of a quality the edit and content is. It blows my mind how the turnaround of that show.
Yeah, agree.
That said, they started the midseason thing maybe 3-4 years ago, and it's like, it's too much.
Oh, you think so?
I don't know, for whatever. I'm like, I get so excited for the preseason one, no matter who the team is. But when we're midseason, I'm like, I got all these football things to worry about. Like, I don't have the time.
Okay.
Before the season, it's like, or I don't have the energy or whatever, because it's all spread about what's really going on.
Okay.
So it's just unfortunate because I need to be watching this AFC North doc that I would love. So I don't know.
It sounds like a personal problem.
It is.
It is. No, I'm just kidding.
I need to set this up better for my coffee.
Yeah, it's like life Hard Knocks balance. It's hard. Work life
so
Hard
privileged.
Knocks.
Jesus fucking Christ.
No, you're right. It's tough to follow along. I haven't caught all the episodes. I was watching HBO a few nights ago and was just like, oh my gosh, this is the greatest thing ever.
Yeah,
I think
I
think it's so cool to just get a lens into how they're operating and what they're thinking about, and the coaches in the morning with their coffee and Tomlin talking about this and that quarterback and the matchup and what they got to do to Burrow. And it's just crazy to me to be able to have an opportunity to get into that scene and see what's transpiring in their world as they prepare for a matchup mid-season. And that's what's so alluring for me. I'm just like, whoa, I feel like I'm right there. It's cool.
Yeah. No, you're right. Need to make some time.
I want to see what they're saying about the matchup this week. Like that's what's man.
Yeah, some of those docs that they publish are almost like detrimental to team chemistry. Like the whole thing with Devontae Adams in that receiver doc on Netflix. Yeah. How like upset he was, and then like he was traded a couple weeks after that documentary came out. Like it is weird what they just publish out there sometimes.
Yeah, nowadays. You're right. Yeah. That's a good point. My sister fell in love with Kirk Cousins during the quarterback documentary.
A lot of women did?
Yeah, or...
Not like he was some heartthrob because like how kind he was or something like that?
Something. Well, and what he's dealt with his kids and just how he is as a father is what she said. Just like, she's like, I'm drafting him on my fantasy football league this year. I don't even care. I just think he's a great guy.
Yeah, that's
cool
not how
dad.
Fantasy works, sis. It's not the best
She's
guy.
actually really, really good. But yeah, dude, he was on her bench all season long.
Okay. Just sitting on the bench. She just needs him for moral support.
Exactly.
Okay, put some respect on his name. Award of the week. Who do you have, Ross? Did you mention it earlier? I think you did.
After I foolishly jumped segments and got so excited to announce my put some respect on his name winner, it's got to be Matthew Stafford, man. He just sliced and diced that Bills secondary and looked so just laser focused and dialed in and just reminded me of like, holy cow. This guy's capable of incredible things, and he's already done incredible things, and they're scary. He deserves some respect.
Yeah, Super Bowl champion.
Super Bowl champ.
Arguably one of the 3 best odds or likelihoods to win it all this year because he's got the pedigree.
Yeah.
I like it. I like it a lot.
Cool. Who you got?
This is a tough one. I think my runner-up's going to be kind of a good counter to Stafford and Jared Goff in that they're these guys that people, not that they write them off. Like they get respect, but not as much as they deserve. Jared Goff made the Super Bowl with the Rams. We forget. That's crazy. Like in a second year or something.
Yeah.
And I bring him up because have had him as a top 5 guy for the past couple of years now going to the season. Like, he's there. He's proven himself. Now that he's number 4 in the rankings, I mean, he's kind of the guy out of the non-Super Bowl winners. We have Lamar, Josh, Goff, Hurts,
Burrow.
I guess we got to throw. Well, no, I'm saying that Burrow's not going to be. I'm saying they have a chance to win it this year.
Okay, got it.
Maybe throw Purdy in there. Guys that have
Darnold.
Well, no, these guys that have kind of been there. I guess my point is, Goff is the guy that we kind of expect to win it next. Now, you might say, Allen or Jackson, we expect them. I don't know. We're kind of a little more skeptical of Allen and Jackson because they haven't been to a Super Bowl. That's part of it. But every year in the playoffs, it's same old, same old. And Goff, a little more consistent. I mean, they lost that Niners game last year, but that was a tough loss. They got to an early lead.
Yeah.
Things had to really – that could have gone either way.
Yeah, they should have won that game.
So they're arguably a Super Bowl team last year. Yeah. This year, with how well they've done, put some respect on Goff's name as a top 5 quarterback in the NFL.
Okay.
That said, he's not even my guy this week.
Yeah.
My guy's Sam Darnold. Like, let's stop. He proved himself last week.
He did.
It's done. It's over.
Good pick.
Darnold is now a guy in the league. Yeah. No more uncertainty, because some people are still going to be uncertain.
I am. But, man, I mean, I can't say nothing this week. Can't say nothing after what he did.
Okay.
And by the way, you went 180 on Goff, which, you know, because he has had what was it this year? He had one game where he threw 97 yards. And I think I was high on Goff a few. Oh, and the 5-pick game. Yeah. So Goff's
like one interception outside of that game.
Goff's won you over. That's
I've always had him there. Is my point. And like even when he got traded, this is why I'm like, these two are related. They got traded.
They got traded for each other. Yes. Yeah,
what
amazing.
A trade, Jesus.
Yeah, but it worked out well for both teams.
But that's the thing. It worked out well for the Rams because of the chip, but over the span of history, will it have worked out better for the Lions? Yeah,
I think you're right. I think you can say that. And he's the perfect QB for Dan Campbell. He's the perfect QB to run that offense. He's, they're a well-oiled machine, and obviously they lean heavy on the run game in the offensive line. So they kind of are able to sort of mask some of Goff's ineffectiveness at times.
By the way, I think
but he still deserves a lot of respect.
I think that's who the Chargers kind of want to be, or the Lions.
Ooh, good. Yeah, good call.
You got to go.
No, not at all.
Well, what time are you up? It's 1:36.
Oh, we got time. She got to be somewhere too.
Okay, cool.
Got to be back to the office.
Because I was about to shut this thing down. Yeah. I think the Chargers are aspiring to be the Lions, so buy stock in the Chargers into the future. They're only going to get better. They're going to, I think, go that route. Dude, this Goff, Stafford, Lions, Rams thing is actually a real thing this year because we got one at the top now, one kind of middle of the pack, but both we feel like could kind of be there near the end. I love that's an amazing narrative.
It is an amazing narrative,
especially if they play each other in the playoffs, second, third round.
Yeah, that would be cool.
I like that.
That would be really cool.
Because it's such a real, like, okay, who got the better deal in this trade?
Yeah.
And this year, it was kind of going to tell us. I mean, there's still more seasons down the road, but, how many more seasons does Stafford have with the Rams?
Yeah.
That's a good question. I wonder what they're going to do with him.
And it feels like, from a personnel perspective, just that the Lions are more set up for success in the next couple of years with the roster they built, the contracts they have. I mean, feels like Stafford and the Rams are a little bit older, and their defense is not as dialed in.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's just losing their guy, the Hall of Fame D tackle. Why can't I remember?
Oh yeah, Darnold.
No.
Aaron Donald.
Donald, yeah, sorry.
Speaking of Darnold,
yeah,
put some respect on his name.
Yeah, so we'll close that out. That was put some respect on his name, the Derek Carr Weekly Award. Last thing I'll say, that NFC North, they're not going anywhere either. Goff, Darnold, who's a guy now, and Love going in the future. Those three teams,
for the next
probably going to be in the
years.
playoffs for the next few years.
True.
Okay, we have.
What a division! What a division!
We're going to close this out with some picks. You down to do some picks?
We are.
You got them in front of you. We forgot to do them last week. We didn't have time.
Well, I'm glad we didn't do them because your boy had a rough go the week prior.
Look, we're going to start keeping track of picks in week 15. That's fine.
We should actually. We should go head to head and see and come through the next week with
Yeah, we will. We'll give our record on the screen. All
right, cool.
You got them in front of you. I don't. So you're going to have to list off the spreads.
Oh, Rams +3 over under 49.5 against the Niners tomorrow night.
We'll just do the score. We won't worry about over under this week.
Yeah, we're not. What was I even talking about?
So Rams +3. So wait. The Niners are favored?
Niners are favored at home.
Who are you going with?
Oh, you go first.
Oh, man. I mean, Rams +3 all day.
I know. It's so hard to go against my team, but my gut is telling me that LA is in a much better position right now.
The Niners can turn it up at home. Divisional games are always wonky.
Yep. Rams.
Oh!
Got to do it, man. I just feel better about them right now.
You want to mark would you mind marking just a R and a D over who we picked?
The doctor.
There we go.
Okay, next one. I got it. Yeah, I got a host over here. My bad. Okay, here we go. Washington, 7.5 point favorites over the Saints on the road. The over/under is just kidding. Okay, what do you got? Washington on the road.
That extra half point. That's a little tough.
Yeah. Derek Carr's done.
Yeah.
Who's New Orleans going to play under center? Taysom Hill. Done.
Ritter, I think.
Ritter's Raider. Jake Hayner, I think, is their back. Anyways.
We don't have to know everything.
Matter.
We don't have to know everything. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
if we don't know, it's not important enough.
Word.
7.5. Well, here's the thing. The Commanders win big against bad teams, right?
They do.
The Saints, without Carr, have proven to be bad this season. So normally I wouldn't take this many points with any team in the NFL this year, but I'm going to take the 7.5. So the Redskins have to win. Commanders have to win by eight points. I'm going Redskins, and I'm going to say Redskins. Sorry, -7.5. I'll take the Skins.
Okay, dude.
Does that bother you? Is it okay if I say Skins?
No, it's fine. But thank you for asking, man.
I'm just done. Can it be the one thing I get in the Trump era? I can say Redskins again. I just want one thing out of this.
I'm sure you can. I'm there with you. I feel like New Orleans is going to be demoralized after what's transpired.
We agreed on the first two.
So, yeah. And Jaden is going to just be Superman this week. Okay, Bengals, 4.5 point favorites on the road against Tennessee.
Only 4.5.
I feel like that should be higher.
Well, and this is where we like gambling, in that gambling looks at win-loss records a lot.
They do.
So you can take that to your advantage a little bit. Bengals are not a 5-8 team. Tennessee is crap. They're the third worst team, number 30, according to the power rank. 4.5. Give me the Bengals.
Give me the Bengals all day in this.
All right.
I feel like they're going to go off.
If we agree on everyone,
I think Jamar Chase is going to have 350 receiving yards and 3 touchdowns. And Joe Burrow is going to smash up to the stadium in a Batmobile model. Yeah.
That said, I always have to debate between Pollard and that rookie receiver for the Jags in my flex spot in fantasy every week. I'm playing Brian Thompson, I think his name is.
Brian Thomas, yes.
Thomas. I'm playing Pollard against the Bengals at the flex definitely this week. So,
yeah,
I mean, he's going to have a good game against that defense.
Yeah, that's true, man. Dowdle went off against them Monday night. Running backs go off against Cincinnati.
Is this the Will Levis week?
Where
suddenly Levis just has like 2 65-yarders and he's just running around?
If history is any indicator as to what's going to transpire.
Uh-oh, am I changing my pick?
I mean, you make a good point. It's, Cincinnati's defense has really hurt them this year.
Yeah.
And so, that's probably why it's a 4.5.
I'm switching. I'm switching.
You're going.
I'm going
okay.
Tennessee.
All right. Okay.
Give me 4.5.
Okay. Give him Derek 4.5 and the Titans. I'm going to stick with.
Into it.
I'm sticking with the Natty and Batman. Okay. The Dolphins on the road in Houston, and the Texans are favored by 2.5.
So not a whole field goal. The Dolphins are in contention. They're 6-7. They are a good team.
They're fighting.
When Tua's there.
They sure are.
The Jets aren't that bad, so it wasn't a horrible win last week. 2.5 against the Texans
on the road.
Yeah, I mean, if it's 3, yeah, I'll go Miami on that one.
Okay,
I think they could win outright. I do not believe in the Texans. Yeah, I got to ride what I've been riding all year. Don't believe in the Texans.
Yeah, I feel really good about Miami's chances as well in this game, and I feel like the fact that the Texans are favored is strange.
Well, they're at home.
Okay, I get it. I just feel like with the way that Miami's played lately, I feel like they played better.
Well, normally they'd be favored by 3 if they think the teams are even. So they're saying that they are giving a tiny edge to Miami.
True. Yeah. Okay, with all that being said, we got to have a little fun. I think Miami's recent string of luck, can't really call it that. Their recent string of playing well is going to come to an end. Okay. I'm going to take the Texans to be different.
I wouldn't be surprised if the Texans win big at the same time.
I think Fairbairn's going to boot one through at the horn, and that's going to get that 3-point victory. And your boy over here, Ross Field, a notch in the win belt.
Yeah, I don't love that Miami pick.
Okay, moving on before he changes it, folks. The Chiefs on the road in Cleveland, and the Chiefs are favored by 4.5, which seems like just wild that they're not.
I'm taking
higher.
Cleveland.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Chiefs. But what's interesting is like when they've had a matchup like this against a lesser opponent earlier this year, like even a couple weeks ago, the spread was so much higher. It was like 8 or 9 points. And then you looked at what the Chiefs has done over the course of the year, and they are only beating teams by 4, 5, 6 points. So that's probably why the spread's where it is. But I don't know, man. I don't know what it is. I'm flopping
a little bit on each of these because we saw, Jameis kind of carved up Denver, even though they had the 2 pick sixes. I'm worried about the Chiefs' defense and those pick sixes against Jameis for sure.
Yeah.
But it's 4.5?
Yeah, it's 4.5.
Yeah, it's funny. I mean, I'm still taking the Browns.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Fair enough. It's not a bad pick. Yeah, the Chiefs play close games. They really do. And they win them all.
The Chiefs' point differential is under 4.5. It's 4.3.
There you go. Interesting. Fascinating. Okay. I'm still taking Kansas City. One of these days, Kelsey's going to go off. Maybe it's this week. Dallas on the road against Carolina. And fun game here.
Okay.
It's,
Love this.
Carolina is 2.5-point favorites.
Ooh, congratulations. Carolina favored. Got to be the first time this year that they're favored. Seriously.
Perhaps, yeah.
All right. I mean, I'm not going to take the Cowboys.
You got to ride with Bryce, right?
Got to ride with my man Bryce.
Yeah. What's interesting is
TikTok darling.
I feel like part of the way that the Cowboys responded after just giving the ball to Cincinnati and basically the game was they looked demoralized, like it was it, that's it. If they won that game, they're 6-7. They're feeling, all things considered with what's happened to them, they're still in the fight. But when they lose that game and now they're 5-8, it's like they don't have a chance.
It's the best.
And
they're in absolute turmoil.
Yeah. And they're the kind of team, though, that this will be interesting. I feel like they're prone to just fade away, where they're not going to show a ton of fight.
No. Because they're a bunch of cowards, and they're owned by a coward, and it's a coward franchise.
And it's just been a hard year for them.
It's a coward franchise that cannot win in the playoffs. They might as well change their name to the Dallas Cowards.
The Dallas Cowards. Oh, I don't know. Dallas has been playing better, even though, man, they just
beat us.
They did. Yeah. That's a good point. I'm going to take them to rally. I'm going to be different here.
No, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
And I'm going to say that Micah Parsons is going to get 1 sack.
Bold prediction. Calm down there.
Okay, here we go.
Don't
Moving
mortgage
on.
house.
Jets, 3.5-point favorites on the road in Jacksonville.
What? Why? The Jets are like favorites every week somehow.
They are.
What?
That's funny.
Yeah, I mean, who? Mac Jones is playing quarterback.
Mac Jones.
I'll take New York
Okay, I think I'm there with you.
because I still love my boy, no matter what.
Yeah.
Ride with my boy, no matter what.
Oh man, yeah. So I can't wait for that Netflix documentary. The Ravens play the Giants.
Okay.
This is crazy. The Ravens are 16.5-point favorites on the road.
I'm taking the Giants all day.
I'm taking the Giants.
I mean, the Ravens' defense is not good.
that is crazy.
Tommy
dude.
DeVito is gonna dice them up
With dude,
like a calzone.
okay, dude, clip this because we're gonna waltz in here next week and we're both gonna have our tail in between our legs when the Ravens only win by 14.
Turn the Instagram reel on. Clip what we just said there. I thought you
Yeah,
were about to say something.
clip this. Like, that's such.
16 and a half? I mean, they could beat them 35-0.
Okay, yeah.
So then we look
could.
like idiots. They probably will. It's probably going to be a 28-3 game.
Yeah. So, yeah. So, I said 14. I meant 17. That way they would cover. But yeah. Okay, you get my point. I'm a knucklehead. Okay, moving on here. Broncos at home against the Colts. Battle of the horses. It's Denver. 3.5-point favorites.
What is it called? Is it equine or is that horses? Equestrian. But
Equestrian, yeah.
is equine a thing?
Probably. It's somewhere in your memory bank.
What was the point?
3.5. 3.5 spread.
Broncos at home.
Broncos at home. I know, right?
What?
I feel like
the Broncos are a good team to bet on every single week with the spread. Yeah, 3.5. I'll take that.
Me too. I don't know. Maybe Richardson controls the game, the time of possession. Taylor has a big. I don't see it.
Anthony Richardson is dead last in my quarterback ranking. I believe in him and everything. But
Cardinals 6.5-point favorites at home against the Patriots.
6.5 Patriots. What are we talking about?
I feel like that should be closer. I'm taking New England.
Drake May? Drake! Unfortunate name for May.
How you feel?
About the picks?
You think your boy Kyler's gonna?
No, I mean, we mentioned that they can go either way, but they're coming off a horrific week. I don't believe in the Cardinals right now. They were the worst team of the week last week.
So you're taking the Patriots to cover?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, wasn't clear.
You got the Chargers 3-point favorites at home against the Bucks.
Just 3?
Just 3.
Ooh, that's game of the week for me.
It's a really fascinating game considering what just happened to the Chargers.
Oh boy.
I mean, this is a battle.
I mean, 3 points is saying Vegas is saying that they're even.
Yeah, they sure are.
Woo! Dude, oh my God. I don't even want to pick this game. This game's making my head.
Yeah, this one's got you.
I mean, I believe in Baker, but I believe in Harbaugh.
Yeah, you do.
Oh my gosh. I mean, I guess I'll take the Bucks. I'll just take the point. Whoever's getting the points in this one.
Okay,
so I'll take the Bucks
points.
+3. Yeah. I mean, because they could lose by 2 or 1.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Chargers.
Okay.
Bounce back. Eagles 5.5-point favorites at home against the Steelers. Crazy. I'm taking the Steelers.
Steelers all day. Yeah.
Okay.
What a game. Well, that's the game of the week, obviously.
That is.
Okay, we have some incredible games this week.
This is the game of the week. Bills on the road against the Lions.
What the hell's going on this week?
Point favorites. Lions 2.5-point. Bills
Lions
2.5.
They're a little banged. Their fans are saying they're too banged up right now. Do you know the Lions injury?
No. Oh,
because I don't look at injury stuff.
Secondary guys, maybe perhaps defensively maybe O-line. I mean, it's not any of their.
Well, there's Hutchinson. That's the only one.
Yeah, Hutchinson's. But I think there was one more that suffered a big injury. But
so it's in Detroit.
In Detroit.
I think
the Bills don't get to play at home in the snow.
I think Detroit's due for a loss, and the Bills are pissed off after last week, so I'm going to go Buffalo.
Okay, I'm taking Detroit. I like it.
Detroit's not going to win the North, dude.
Hey, man. I mean, you could be onto something, no doubt. Packers 2.5-point favorites on the road in Seattle. A tough place
Every
to
game
play.
is good this week.
That is a good game.
Playoff implications like crazy.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go. Packers are getting 2.5.
Packers are getting 2.5. They are 2.5-point favorites.
Oh, they're favorites. They're minus 2.5.
They're minus 2.5
on the road.
On the road
against Seattle. What?
In a tough place to play.
I love the Packers, but they're getting what? Yeah, I'm going to take Seattle plus 2.5. Seattle's plus 2.5.
Seattle's plus 2.5.
Okay. Yeah, I'm taking that.
I'm taking Green Bay.
What a week. This is my favorite week.
Bears on the road against Minnesota. Minnesota 7-point favorites.
Not 7.5, just 7.
It's just 7. Lucky number 7.
The Bears are not going to give up. Oh, they fired their coach. Is their first game without the coach? Or was that
second.
Last week?
Yeah.
Second, okay.
Eberflus was done
and they
on
got
Thanksgiving.
whooped last week.
After they, what's interesting about that game though, is they scored. Their offense was playing better in the third quarter to make it 24-6. They went for 2. They didn't convert.
Yeah.
If they converted that, it's a 2-possession game.
Yeah.
Niners go 3 and out. Bears march right down the field again. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's happening again. We're going to give up a big lead.
Okay.
And Caleb's like in the 20-yard, knocking on the door of the red zone, goes to make that pass, pulls it back, ball like squirts out.
Yeah.
Niners pick it up. It's ruled a fumble, but it was pretty borderline.
Doing Caleb stuff.
Yeah, Caleb doing Caleb stuff, but it was close. I mean, the call could have gone either way. The point I'm trying to make is like, if that didn't happen, then the Bears would have probably cut it to at least a 10-point game. And then, so I feel like the final score, the Niners-Bears, it ended up being a blowout, but there were some things that had me a little concerned as to what's happened with San Francisco this year. That really doesn't have anything to do with this game, but yeah, man, interesting thoughts there. Vikings 7-point favorites at home against the Bears.
I mean, after such a big week, I think after such a big week for Minnesota, it's going to be a little bit of a letdown against a division team, so I'll take the Bears there.
That could be a sneaky good pick. With that being said, I'm going to take Skull. Okay, Falcons 3.5. Falcons 3.5-point favorites.
No.
Against the Raiders on the road Monday night.
Oh, Raiders. What are we talking about? I don't even care who their quarterback is.
Taking the Raiders.
Falcons are trash.
Okay.
3.5
is
on the road.
3.5 how much the Falcons are getting, or is that the amount of picks Kirk Cousins is going to throw?
I mean, I am worried about the Falcons bounce back a little bit here. They still have some talented guys. I do not know who the quarterback for the Raiders is. Minshew, O'Connell, all those guys are out, right?
I think O'Connell got hurt. That's interesting.
He did. You know what? I'm going to take the Falcons. That's my last switch up. I get 2 mulligans. You get out of here. Go back to work.
Okay.
AC Sports on every platform. Subscribe to us on YouTube. I'm Derek.
I'm Ross.
See you next week. Happy week 15.